Other news today, the Human Rights Commission been to the Charlotte Maxeke hospital in Joburg today to examine the situation there. There was that fire 18 months ago. There have been many complaints that the institution isn't running properly. You remember in April last year there was that small blaze in a parking lot. It's now been shown that that fire was deliberate. It was arson. It's also been confirmed that a massive health scanner, a CT scanner, was deliberately damaged at the hospital. There is also, of course, a new health MEC in Gauteng, Zamantungwa, who was sworn into the position just last week. Zamantungwa Mbeki is the acting provincial manager for Gauteng for the South African Human Rights Commission. Zamantungwa, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. What did you find at the hospital today?
Everything went well, and good afternoon to you, Stephen, as well. Everything went well this morning at the Human Rights Commission's visit at the hospital. We were welcomed by the HOD as well as the project managers who are managing this renovation or this fire project, if you can call it that way.
Do you believe people are getting proper services there? And, you know, I'm almost certain there will be people who complain that they aren't.
Definitely. That was one of the primary issues that we addressed to the HOD and to the staff who were present at the meeting. That was one of our primary concerns and the complaints that we received as the commission. That is the hospital really functioning? And we were given a thorough presentation, Stephen, where the project managers indicated some of the challenges that they are facing with the extent of the project, indicating that the project it's bigger than just where the fire took place. If you look and if we go back to some of the images that were brought up when the fire took place, you realize that the fire is actually right at the middle of the hospital, and that from the parking lot, and that the damage that was caused there extended to other wards that were just above it. And as a result of the project that is currently going in, the services that are provided on those floors and for door protection and safety as well had to be moved to other hospitals. And these hospitals include Helen Joseph, Bara, which are also hospitals that have their own capacity issues. We were told today, however, that most of the units have returned back to Charlotte. They might not be housed where they were previously housed in terms of the ward, but most of the units are actually back at Charlotte Maxeke, and that they are only waiting for just a couple of more units that need more. How can I put this? Like more capacity, including ICU, for instance. And they're saying that those are the types of services that will come in last due to their nature. But in terms of the numbers, we were advised that Charlotte Maxeke has the capacity of 1,068 beds, and currently they're sitting at 974 beds that have returned, and those that are fully available at the hospital for the different services.
So, I mean, the thing about all of this is there's so many aspects to it. I take your point about where the fire was, but I mean, we had health workers protesting to get this institution back to where it was. We actually lost it during a pandemic, the worst possible time, and we lost it because of a fire that was set deliberately, and it was only because of journalism that we know that. It was only because a journalist, Mark Haywood, was able to get hold of that forensic investigation report in the police. The fact is the Gauteng Health Department seemed to have done almost nothing. There's no police investigation that I'm aware of. What that means is that this could happen again. Does that worry you? I mean, it seems to me that I would think that the Gauteng Health MEC would be fuming at a deliberate fire, and yet we hear nothing from them.
Definitely, Stephen. I think that the issue about the fire, there's two aspects that we must look at. Even the structure that actually caught light, we were informed that it should not have actually been in the parking lot. That was something that was told to the commission today, that in terms of the city of Johannesburg's policies and its fire, its compliance in terms of fire, this structure that actually caught, or this unit that actually caught a light, should not have actually been there. And we can't even talk about the consequences that came as a result of this fire. But what we were also told was that what they are trying to undertake is to actually comply over the whole hospital to make sure that the whole hospital is compliant in terms of the City of Johannesburg standards, and that before this and subsequent to the fire, when the COJ actually did its investigation, it found that Charlotte Maxeke at the time was not compliant in terms of the fire standards, and that the greatest extent or the biggest component of this project, and which is going to take them a bit longer than just fixing the particular units, is to make sure that they are compliant in terms of the standards set by the City of Johannesburg.
I mean, this went on for such a long time. I don't work for the Human Rights Commission, but I find it astonishing that there was just no urgency from anyone, from the City of Joburg, from the Gauteng Health Department. In the end, the National Health Department had to take it over. Don't you find that astonishing?
That was one, what you're saying now is what we raised. We were very worried about the time that has already been spent in this project, but also, as I said earlier on, about the services that have not been provided. And even during this time, you'll note that there were different complaints about the different units, including the oncology unit, that also had its own issues during this particular period. And as you've just indicated as well, that this happened during COVID-19. Yes, definitely, I agree with you. In terms of the time frames, we're very, very worried. And that the project, and they've also indicated that the time frames that they've initially set and that the Commission had received in their report February 2022 and December 2021, that they're not going to meet those timelines. When we asked what are the delays in the project, they were able to give us some preliminary issues and challenges that they are facing with the project. And as I indicated, one of the issues that they were saying that they wanted to mitigate is to make sure that such an issue does not happen again. And therefore, the issue of the compliance certificate, or their lack of compliance, rather, let me put it that way, over the whole hospital is what is going to take them an even longer time, is to make sure that the whole hospital is actually compliant and that it meets standard. However, in the meantime, they'll note, and this is what they said, is that the services are still functioning. There are a number of glitches, and that as the Commission, we told them that we are continuing to monitor the project. We're going to meet with the Premier as well, and the MEC as well. And then most importantly, one of the other issues that were indicated in the meeting is that the project has been moved from infrastructure development and is now currently housed under the Gauteng Department of Health. And therefore, this was indicated to us is that it's a mechanism that was put in to try expedite the project. And therefore, as the Commission, we'll have to meet with the departments to actually get a better understanding of these timeframes.
Thank you very much indeed. Zamantungwa Mbeki is the Acting Provincial Manager in Gauteng.